Oh my God. Okay. All right. Hi. Good morning, Glenn Kirschner.
Good morning, Steph. How we doing?
Well, I was just saying in the opening segment, Glenn, I'm no Glenn Kirschner, but this is just crime upon crime upon crime, right? We're hearing testimony about the original crimes and the seditious conspiracy, and now we have obstruction of justice, witness tampering. I mean, I don't even know where to start, right? Like, what? Obviously, Cassidy Hutchinson, both of those threats were to her from associates, I guess, of Mark Meadows. The lawyer, the Trump PAC paying for the lawyers of the people testifying. Talk to us about all of this in terms of obstruction.
Yeah, I think the most dramatic moment was when Cassidy Hutchinson, I don't throw the word hero around cavalierly, but when that 25-year-old young woman stepped into the breach and the void left by cowards like Mark Meadows and Pat Cipollone and did the hard work of trying to save our democracy, that's heroic in my book. And what she told us was Donald Trump was briefed that the crowd had assault weapons, Glock handguns, knives, brass knuckles, bear spray, spears. And he said, take the effing metal detectors down. They're not here to hurt me. And then they can all march to the Capitol and I will lead them. Steph, he wanted and intended to lead an armed attack on the Capitol. Again, this is more treason because he's levying war against the United States. And then on top of it, we've got witness tampering. And here's why this is so damn important. Unfortunately, I had lots of witnesses tampered with from the somewhat cryptic, you know where your loyalties lie. You know who to protect. You stay on the team, right? We're going to have our eyes on you, to unfortunately the ultimate. When anybody has ever asked me what was the worst thing about being a homicide prosecutor, I always had the same answer: dead witnesses. And unfortunately, I had far too many dead witnesses. And here's why this is different now. We've been waiting 18 months for the Department of Justice to indict Trump or any high government official. And thus far, it's been radio silence. Not that they're not working on it. Witness tampering is different. Witness tampering does not call for the immediate launching of a 6-month grand jury investigation. Witness tampering requires the FBI to interview Cassidy Hutchinson, to take the substance of that interview and put it in an affidavit in support of an arrest warrant. They should be in a federal judge's chambers right now as we speak, obtaining an arrest warrant, and they should lock up the people who are threatening witnesses, because that it strikes right at the integrity of an investigation, whether congressional or criminal. These people need to be locked up right now. I don't want to hear about long, drawn-out grand jury investigations of witness intimidation.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Glenn. The other thing, I mean, we're hearing the amount of security she needs. The filmmaker that just filmed the documentary that the Trumps asked him to has armed security because of threats. I mean, it is. You mentioned RICO several times when we've spoken of Trump and his long list of crimes. But I was just saying, I mean, mobsters would say, "Wow, this is heavy-handed." These messages that Cassidy Hutchinson got. I mean, and as you just basically said, how much more evidence do we need? Donald Trump knowingly and intentionally launched an armed attack on the U.S. Capitol and everyone in the Capitol. You said even Mick Mulvaney concludes Trump incited an armed riot. Why has there been no accountability for Trump crimes? How much longer can our democracy survive absent accountability? The thing that knocked me, and I'm sure you and a lot of us, back on our heels was the reporting that the DOJ was blindsided by Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony. What the F is going on, do you think, Glenn?
Yeah, that has me really, really frustrated, because I don't understand how the Department of Justice cannot be investigating all of this at light speed. From the moment we all saw Donald Trump incite the insurrection in his speech on the ellipse that day, if I were involved as a prosecutor, I would have been going scorched earth after the crimes we saw Donald Trump commit to try to save our democracy. And, it doesn't feel like DOJ has the sense of urgency it should have, it has to have. So, and if witness tampering, Steph, doesn't do it, I'm sorry to say, I don't think anything will. So if we don't start to see cuffs slapped on people who are intimidating witnesses, then I fear the Department of Justice might just not care enough.
Hey. What? So talk to us about what is this? The more than a dozen Trump allies offered free legal services by Key Political Action Committee. More than a dozen of Trump's allies are being offered a free ride on legal fees by a Key Political Action Committee associated with the former president. So Cassidy Hutchinson obviously testified after firing a lawyer who had been recommended to her by two of Trump's former aides and paid for by his PAC. So this is obviously after hiring a new counsel. What level of isn't it illegality? I don't understand. How can you pay for lawyers to not testify against the person that you're supposed to be testifying against is paying for your lawyer? This is witness tampering for the rich and famous, right? This is the way they get to do it. But let me tell you, the question of whether it's legal or illegal, really the devil's in the details. From time to time, prosecutors will seek evidentiary hearings on who is funding the defense of, for example, a co-conspirator or the defense of a witness they're trying to shut down. And we will see if it's a dirty relationship that a court should step in and void. And it looks like Cassidy Hutchinson made the decision on her own. We don't know much about what happened behind the scenes that prompted her to change legal teams, but it has the feel of, she abandoned a legal team that was trying to keep her quiet, keep her loyal to Trump, and got a fully independent legal team and comes out with really blockbuster testimony. Yeah. Well, first of all, you raise a really good point about her safety. I know one former FBI agent was talking about this mysterious, QAnon guy has reappeared and named her on social media, which they were saying is really puts her in a lot of danger. As I was mentioning, the documentary guy needs security. This is this is just such an unbelievable. It really is some sort of mob thing we're watching here, right, in real time. And that it is. Yeah. It's a mob organization. It is a corrupt organization, a criminal organization. It has a hierarchy. It has established roles for different people in the criminal organization. These are the buzzwords that I'm using that justify the government bringing RICO prosecutions against just this kind of organized crime, not organized crime in the mob sense, but you can have a corporation that is operating as a corrupt organization, right, and you can use the RICO laws and apply them to a corrupt corporation or business. I contend you can also apply the RICO laws to what Donald Trump's criminal organization has been doing. And by the way, as a prosecutor, Glenn, I have to ask, it is notable, first of all, Trump has really only denied the Secret Service, right? That he tried to grab the wheel, which isn't even, material to the, the major crimes that are being discussed, right? But, and also this Tony Ornato guy, I'm reading this reporting. Several members of the select committee say Ornato, not Hutchinson, is the one with credibility problems, have moved to publicly preempt any doubts he might raise. There seems to be a major thread here. Tony Ornato likes to lie, said Adam Kinzinger. Alyssa Farah, who's the former Trump official, has questioned Ornato's honesty, as has Olivia Troy. Representative Stephanie Murphy said he did not have clear memories from this period of time as Hutchinson did. Well, he's clearly a Trump acolyte. Right. And the difference is he won't go under oath. She went under oath. Go under oath and say this instead of an unnamed source tell someone who tweets it. Right. Yeah, these folks in Trump world are going to lie for Trump. And, I was listening to my friend Carol Leonnig, who has covered the Secret Service in great depth and detail. Yeah. And I am not going to, soil the entire Secret Service. But what Carol said is it's not unusual in her experience as a career reporter to have certain Secret Service agents represent one thing only
to have hard evidence, including documentation, that completely contradicts what that Secret Service agent said in his zeal to protect the president. So,
and
Tony
Trump,
Honorado, here's the thing. He is not to be credited.
Right, and Trump lies about everything, Glenn. So, I mean, the fact that he thinks, I can lie about what happened, in the car because it's only my two Trumpy Secret Service guys that will, try to undermine everything else she testified to by saying that detail of that isn't true. But the one thing Travis, in the statement that I read that Trump released, he lied about they were armed. We saw the video of the people with the guns in trees. Like, he's lying about things that we have a lot of things Cassidy Hutchinson said are corroborated elsewhere and by other people, correct?
Yeah, that's what Donald Trump does. He will never acknowledge the objective evidence that puts the lie to what it is he's claiming. He will hold on to those lies until the day he dies. Why? Look at how well they've worked for him, Steph, his whole life. Why would he change course now? Accountability has to come from the outside in when it comes to Donald Trump. It ain't never going to come from inside of Donald Trump.
Yeah. Your favorite as a prosecutor had to be Rudy Giuliani saying, Cassidy Hutchinson lies. She was never there when I asked for a pardon. Oops.
Yeah. She didn't see me commit that murder. Whoops, I shouldn't have said it that way. Yeah. But you have to feel bad for him because he was shot in the back and he almost died.
Yeah, that's true.
If you saw the video when somebody gently patted him on the back, and I'm not making light of even a technical assault. I am making light of Rudy Giuliani's big fat lie about it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just have to ask you one legal thing that you tweeted about. You said Representative Cheney just laid the foundation for an adoptive admission. Warms this old prosecutor's heart. What does that mean?
Yeah, I should have spelled that out because people are like, what the heck are you talking about? So there is a way to get something into evidence against somebody, even if they never open their mouth. It's called an adoptive admission here. And it was with Honorado and Engel that Cheney set it up. But Steph, if you and I went out and robbed the 7-Eleven, right? And then we talked about it afterwards and you were standing next to me and I'm narrating what we did. I'm like, man, did you see the way Steph really took out that clerk and then grabbed the Twinkies and didn't pay for them? And if you sat there, Steph, mute, and you said nothing to contradict or disagree with the narrative when I'm narrating what you did, that is as good as the words coming out of your mouth, and we call it an adoptive admission. I made the admission, but you adopted it by your silence, and in a court of law, my words are admissible against you under those circumstances.
Okay, but then Travis and Sean would say that she would never eat that crap. She doesn't eat Twinkies, so that's completely not believable. Okay.
I got your back this one time. Lady.
Exactly, one time you would have my back.
Twinkies never.
Also, let's just talk briefly before we go. You tweeted, we can fix what the Supreme Court broke. Supermajorities in the House and Senate. That's how we legislate gun reform, voting rights. We codify Roe's protections and other soon-to-be revoked privacy rights. We should focus on this the way the right focused on revoking women's rights. Here. But one more I just want to ask about. You said concrete steps we can take to address the conniving and deceit of judges who lied to the Senate and the American people by saying they will respect the settled precedent of Roe v. Wade. What are those? What can we do? Because I don't understand how you get away with perjury and get a lifetime seat on the Supreme Court and there are zero consequences.
Exactly. This one is actually easy procedurally, Steph. All the Congress has to do is gavel open an impeachment inquiry to try to decide, based on the evidence, whether when these judges who wanted to become Supreme Court justices under oath sat there and conveyed one thing to the Senate and the American people. Roe is settled precedent. It's entitled to respect. Nothing to worry about here. And in the back of their minds, Steph, what did they have? I am going to overturn Roe the minute I get the opportunity. That is deception. You may conclude that it doesn't technically meet the elements of perjury, but that doesn't mean it's not worthy of impeachment as a high crime and misdemeanor, because they deceive the Senate and the American people. And here's the beauty of opening an impeachment hearing, Steph, which doesn't guarantee that the House will actually will draft and vote on articles of impeachment, but it's a necessary first step on the road.
Yeah.
Here's the beauty of it. You subpoena everybody that those judges talked with behind closed doors and said things like, don't worry,
Yeah.
we're going to take care of it. That's all we need, Steph, and it's there.
Yep.
And it's there, I predict, in abundance. That's why we need to gavel open an impeachment inquiry.
I'm for all of the above, Glenn. I keep saying it. Yes, and every front and obviously you mentioned voting is the first one, but Ilhan Omar tweeted, Congress can change the number of justices on the Supreme Court at any time and has done so 7 times throughout history. Since 1869, the last time the court was expanded, the U.S. population has grown by over 800%, yet the court has stayed stagnant at 9 justices. Used to be based on circuit courts. There were 9. There are 13 now. So, by the way, ask yourself, what would Mitch McConnell do? He would do all of this if it was reversed, right?
And if we don't do it, Steph, we're giving it all away. We're giving it all away if we don't do it. So why would we decline to do it? I don't understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. Glenn, in person next week. Oh, my God, I'm getting ready now. I can't wait to see you.
Can't wait to see y'all, Steph.
See you in studio next week. There he goes. 50.
All right, love you.